Good morning. It's time for another Coffee with a Coach. And today I'm here with Mandi Schaefer. And our question for the day is, how do I manifest what I desire quickly? And welcome, Mandi. It's so good to see you this morning.
Good morning. Good to see you too.
How are you doing?
Great.
Awesome. Awesome. So Mandi is currently a student in E3. And we've talked on Coffee with a Coach a lot about the first phase of E3, the empower phase, but I haven't really gone too much into the second and third phase, which is enlighten and evolve. And that's where it really turns into a magic school, right? That's where we learn all about how to make the universal laws work in our favor. Because here's the thing, is just like the law of gravity, it is always working, right? We never doubt the fact that gravity exists. We never doubt the fact that gravity is working. And it's the same thing with the universal laws. So they're always working, but there's a way to get them to work in your favor. And that's really what phase 2 and phase 3 are all about. And Mandi came to me with a question. I think it was a couple weeks ago, right? Was it about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, max.
Yeah. And was really looking to manifest something in particular. So Mandi, I'll let you take it from there. Can you tell us your story?
Yeah, I sure can. Well, of course, through E3, I'm learning all these amazing new visions, I'm going to say, the way to look at the world and how, these laws of attraction do work for you and they're constantly in motion. So I learned this really cool thing from you, Courtney, the 68-second rampage. And so I looked to my husband. I said, all right, babe, I want to try something. Courtney told me all about the 68-second rampage. We're going to start at 17 seconds and then we're going to build. And we decided collectively, and we got our kids involved, two that were here. Mm-hmm. And we all sat and we were like, you know what? We have this vacation to Vegas that is already paid for, but we need to find the money to be able to take the time off. Mm-hmm. And so we all sat down and we started focusing. I put my stopwatch on and we were talking about how great it's going to be able to book the flights, book the hotel, and how fun it's going to be to get on the plane and go to Vegas this time to walk around and see some of the sights. Was it the next day? Mm-hmm. My husband got a bonus that not only covered the amount that we needed, but plus some. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, oh, well, that's cool. That happened really fast. So we're like, okay, you know what? Let's do this again. We're going to do this again. What else do we need? And my husband and I have been talking about it for a long time. And my cousin can attest to this because she gets on me all the time about when are you going to get your passport? Mm-hmm. We have vacations planned. And we haven't been able to book them because I haven't gotten my passport yet. So my husband and I were like, okay, 68-second rampage. We're going to get the money to get our passports. It's $330. This is what we need. Once again, the next day, we get a check in the mail. Mm-hmm. And what? Oh, my mortgage company. Oh, you've overpaid. Here's your money back. And by the way, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lower your payment for you. We're living in a world where interest rates are going through the roof.
Right.
People's payments are going up.
Yeah.
Not down.
Yeah.
So the amount that we got was $12 shy of the $330 Jake stock that we had rampaged on.
Wow.
So we're like, you know what? We can handle $12.
Yeah.
Thank you again, universe. My goodness.
Yeah.
So then we're keeping going. You know what? we're going to pay this car off. Mm-hmm. We have an amount in our heads. We are pushing for it. Jade, stop. I'm sorry.
It happens all the time. Usually it's my kids.
I bet. So once again, we get a random check in the mail that we were not supposed to get. Mm-hmm. It's a double car payment. because that's what we want to make double car payments, because if we do that, we can have this car paid off in the next couple of months.
Wow.
Again, the next day, I got 2 checks 2 days in a row. Like, this universe
Yeah.
is truly amazing. And
Yeah.
it's so powerful and beautiful to see that it does work in your favor, and it all starts here.
Yeah.
It all starts with your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Are you going to stay focused? You know, like right now, when did we start, Courtney? 18 months ago?
You and I together? Yeah, about that.
And my dream was to put my stories on paper.
Yep.
I want to be an author.
Yep.
I want to be a writer. I want to be a New York Times best-selling author. And I am completing my first book, as you know.
Yep.
And I've stayed focused. I've stayed focused here. I've stayed focused in my heart. And I believe everything that I say. I believe that the laws of attraction work, and all of this will manifest. And I tell my husband said the other day, I don't know what it is you're doing, but oh my goodness, let's keep this up.
Oh, I love it. Now let's talk about that book for a minute, because like you said, we started working 18 months ago. We started working together, and you had told me then about this dream of becoming an author, right? It was at the time, it was just a dream, and you were working full time, right?
Yep.
And then something seemingly, we would say, you know, in normal circumstances, negative happened when you decided to part ways with your full-time job.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And what did that do for you?
Well, I decided to quit my full-time job, and I decided not to go back to work.
Yep.
Technically,
Right.
you know, as in somebody's employee or anything like that.
Yeah.
My husband said, you know what, babe, I've got you.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want to do, I'll do whatever it takes
Mm-hmm.
to make up for your income, and you can do whatever you'd like. I started taking classes such as E3 and a few other ones. And, you know, I'm learning more and more and more about myself. And I started to write, and I started to jot things down, and I found all these poems from 2002 to 2003 that I had written while I was in a very ugly active addiction. And I basically wrote myself out of it. I wrote through those tough times. I wrote through those devastating relapses. I wrote through losing custody of my child. And if I wasn't where I am right now, I don't think I would have been able to write through those things. Yeah. There were some real conversations I had to have with myself. But I wanted my book to be honest. I wanted it to be real. I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
And so I did it. I did it. And I'm about to give my daughter the first ever edited copy so that she can take it on the plane to go to Ireland with her.
Wow.
But quitting my job allowed me to be able to do these things.
Yeah.
It opened up the doors. It gave me the freedom. It gave me the time. It gave me the power. It gave me the ability to see my faults and forgive myself. It gave me the ability to forgive others for their actions and realize that they were 100% in the right. It was me that was creating all of this chaos around me and inside of me. And it was all due to an addiction from unhealed traumas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to write those down, and I'm starting with the addiction. I am going to write about my father's suicide. and I am going to write about going through an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also going to write about the beautiful story on the other side, because I have that.
Yep.
I went through some devastating things.
Yeah.
But I came out the other side stronger and more beautiful than I could have ever imagined. And the relationship I have, and just, my life in general that I have, is great. It's a beautiful thing. And it's not by default. It is most assuredly by design.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. So let's just recap a little bit, because I want to be clear for our viewers. It's not like you've had an easy life, right? There have been multiple seemingly insurmountable challenges that you faced.
Yes.
And yet here you are talking about manifesting, talking about the universal laws, talking about how they're working in your favor, right? So you don't have to be starting from a perfect place. And right? It's oftentimes the negative or the tragedy or the trauma that brings us to this space where we start to learn and open our hearts to what is possible.
Yes. But you have to decide to look at your traumas in a different light.
Yeah.
Because it's not about what happens to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's how we react to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be very, very hard, especially depending on the traumas that you've been through.
Yeah.
But in order to release that baggage and move forward is such a freedom to where you open the door to this whole new universe, literally this whole new universe, and how it works and its energies. And you can decide to think differently and perceive differently and receive differently. And that is important. It's important. And it's work. You don't get diamonds without pressure.
Right.
You don't get butterflies without the worm going through pretty grotesque transformation in the cocoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to endure things to become beautiful, to learn, so that we can move forward with a beautiful light and share it with others.
Yeah.
Everything that we go through is for a reason, whether we see that or not. But we can choose to never be a victim, and to always be someone who is like, you know what, I went through this, but I made it through, and I made it through really good. And I want to share it with somebody else.
Yeah.
I want to help somebody else come to the place where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because it is a beautiful place.
Yeah. And just imagine the ripple effect that you've already caused. But as your book gets published, I mean, the thousands and hopefully millions of people who get to read your book and get to be affected by it in such a positive, transformational way. So does it make everything that you've gone through, does it make it worth it?
It has to, because I love who I am, and I don't regret or look down on any single part of me. It's made me who I am. So I accept it.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
In all of my light and all of my darkness, this is me.
Yeah.
And I went through the darkness to create this incredible light. And I want to pass it to others. And I want to help heal other people. I want to help that addict realize that we can get out of this dark, icky spot. And it is possible to become a whole nother human. You don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard, but we can get out of there.
Yeah.
And we can love that addict, not only while you're going through it, but later on, and you can forgive her for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you can help heal that person that needs that addiction so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get them through that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can watch them get their child back, and you can watch them build a beautiful relationship with someone else who got out of addiction.
Oh man, chills.
It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is so possible to get through that darkness, because I remember the despair of being there. And I'll never be anything better than a worthless junkie.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote that to myself many times, but then there was many other times where I wrote other things like, no, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You are a beautiful human being. You are a wonderful mom, and you can be all these things, and you can get out of this. You don't belong here.
Yeah.
And with lots and lots of work,
Yeah.
we got out of there.
And I'd just love to offer that the first step, before even you take the step to do the work, you have to believe.
Yes.
Right? You have to believe that it's gonna be worth it.
Yes.
You have to believe in what's going to come of it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to believe that it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so, do you know how you found your belief in those times that it was so hard?
You know what? I just wrote myself through it. I lifted myself up.
Yeah.
I talked to myself as I would my child.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can do this. You're better than this. And we're gonna figure out what the underlying issue is.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep going. And I just, something deep inside of me just said, come on, baby girl, let's go. Yeah. Time to pull our pants up, get it together, and we're going to walk right out this tunnel. You see that light over there?
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Tell me, how hard was that?
Very.
Very hard.
Very. I had to let go of not an entire lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. I
Mm-hmm.
had to let go of the people,
mm-hmm.
which was hard because at the time,
mm-hmm.
inside of my head, those were the only people who really loved me.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the people that were there for me.
Yeah.
Which is all a huge falsity.
False. Right. Yeah.
But that was a hard step for me, because that was the one that I just couldn't seem to get past.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot be with people who don't hold your same values.
Yeah.
And you can't, if you're trying to get off drugs, you can't hang out with people that do drugs. It's just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an alcoholic, you don't go to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
And I got over that. And basically what I did is I completely disappeared. I went home to Montana.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell anybody where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
I came back to get custody of my daughter back. I had a couple little relapses in there, and I was like, nope, I am not doing this again. I am not doing this again. What is your problem, Mandi? Why do you keep thinking that these people are good for you? Why do you keep putting yourself in this spot?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the areas where you live, and this is all I can afford, the jobs. You can't provide a clean urine test, so you don't have a lot of options for a job.
Mm-hmm.
And so I removed myself from every single bit of that. And I got myself together. I turned myself into jail.
Mm-hmm.
I faced the music.
Mm-hmm.
I faced the music.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started going through those things, I started to get clean. I learned I was pregnant with my second child, which his middle name is Angel, because I never touched him ever again. I'm going on over 19 years without any kind of crazy substances,
Yeah.
And I pushed through and I changed. And I remember one conversation that I had that changed everything for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had somebody tell me, When are you going to learn that you're just an addict and you're no good for your kid? You need to just let her go and go be an addict because you're no good to her. And they were right. But the part they were wrong about is that I was just an addict. I was a mom. I was a mom first. And I was getting my child back. You know what? Yes, I lost her and I'm going to give her up, but I'm going to get myself better and I'm coming back. And I am coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
And I did. Ugh. And there was nothing that was going to stop me. I was getting my child back. I was going to build a beautiful life.
Yeah.
And I wrote my husband a letter a long time ago stating the kind of life that I wanted, and I wanted to build it with him. And he said, all right, let's do this. And here we are.
Going to Vegas.
And New York.
And New York. And
yeah, we just
Italy.
bought tickets for New York for our family Thanksgiving that we were like, okay, we've got this too now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, okay, it was hard in the beginning, right? Is it getting easier?
Oh, yeah. It's easier in the sense that it's I never ever thought I'd be sitting here going, I'm almost 2 decades clean.
Yeah.
That's a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, I'll never be that person. I hear people talk about, oh, I've been clean so many years. I'm like, oh, that's impossible.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
And now that you know the 68-second rampage, how easy was it for you to manifest the money you were looking for?
Way easier than I even thought. Like, I believe, I do. I am a believer, like all the way. I knew it was coming. Yeah. I didn't figure it'd drop out of the sky the very next day 3 times in a row.
Yes.
3 times in a row.
Yes.
What? This cannot, like the first one with like our refund and stuff. I'm like, we knew that was coming. I can't count that one, right? So I don't even count that one, or it'd be 4. It's just, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's magnetic. It's once that ball gets rolling, once you truly believe that this is possible and that this works. Look out, world, here I come.
Yeah, baby.
My screenplay is beautiful.
All right, so tell us, what else are you going to be manifesting in, let's say, the next 6 months to a year?
Okay, can I 6 months to a year?
Yeah.
6 months to a year, I'm going to pay my car off.
Okay.
That one's already done.
Okay.
$9,975 paid off by, I'm going to say November.
Nice.
So that's done.
Good. My
screenplay, I go out as far as 2026.
Okay. So really quick, I just have to interrupt. What Mandi's talking about, her screenplay, is actually an exercise in phase 2 of E3. And it's where we design our life. So she talked before about not living by default, but living by design. And so one of the exercises is to actually write a screenplay for yourself, for your life, and design the life that you want to live. So go for it. Let's hear it.
Okay. So it's 2026. Me and my family have just recently relocated back home to Montana. We had a custom home built. We broke ground in 2025 from all the proceeds from the book that I sold in 2023. I picture this house. I can see it on the lake, the vaulted ceilings, the big windows, my fireplace. I'm so glad to be closer to my mom, who turned 70 this year. My third son, my third oldest, second son, has just graduated from high school. He's getting ready to go off into unimaginable places into the world. My little Abigail is so excited to be up into the woods and with the ranch. And my book is now sold in universities because we help with psychology students in breaking down the mind of an addict. I signed my first book deal wearing this watch with a green shirt and my white quill pen that sits on my desk to this day in 2026 while I continue to write books and have talks and reach people all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And it's already done.
It's already done.
It's already done.
It's already
right?
done. It's written down. It's been spoken
Yeah.
multiple times. It's already done.
Yeah.
And then I get the goosebumps because I know that it's already done.
And let's point out too to the viewers that you spoke it all in the first person as if it was that time, right? And that's part of the secret. That's part of the secret in order to accomplish it, is to believe that it's already done. And whether you want to call it an alternate universe, or, you know, if you're an Abraham follower, it's in the vortex, it's with your higher self. You know, the language doesn't matter, because the universe, what do I say? The universe doesn't speak English.
Right?
It speaks energy, right? So it's the energy that you're putting into it that's going to make this happen. And so, I mean, 100%, you are going to be there in 2026. There's no doubt at this point, right?
No question.
That's the magic.
I'm already there.
Yes. Yes, that is the magic. Amazing. We're going to have you come back on at some point and talk about the manifestations for Abigail. Because, oh man, what another story it's going to have everybody in tears. I guarantee it. But such a beautiful, amazing story of, you know, a mom, just her will, right? Her will, her power, and this beautiful little girl who's so meant to be.
Yeah.
Who's so meant to be. And you're the one who gave her that chance. So, you know, I'm just going to leave the cliffhanger there.
Yes.
We'll have to have you back then. But so talk to us, just in wrap up, talk to us about the Rampage and how you do it. How have you done it to make it work?
Well, just a little bit ago at 10:10, my phone went off because my angels were calling. It invites me to redirect my thoughts, but now I've worked my Rampage into that. So now when my angel alarms go off and things like that, I start my Rampages. I start my affirmations. I speak them out loud. I say my screenplay out loud. Well, I think it probably 100 times a day. Mm-hmm. And I say it out loud multiple times a day. Mm-hmm. I remind myself, stay focused on your book, allow your free flowing, because this is what's going to catapult you into the universe. This is what's going to reach so many other people. Mm-hmm. And I get super hyper focused while I'm doing my affirmations, my Rampages, things like that. And I have 7 alarms that go off throughout the day.
Beautiful, beautiful. And again, these are all 3
tools.
No.
All of it. I highly recommend not only Courtney, but E3 and everything Courtney has to offer. Everything.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yes. Thank you so much. Mandi, thank you so much for being here today and for being willing to share your story. That I know, you know, that story is going to help so many people, because there's so many people right now who are stuck and saying, how do I get this? How do I do this? How do I make this happen? And then looking around and seeing the luck of other people and not recognizing that they could own that luck in their own hands. And you just shared with it, right? I mean, you had a really, really rough history that you pulled yourself out of. And now here you are on the other side of successful, telling everybody else how to do it. Right? Yes. So if it's possible for you, would you say that it's possible for anyone?
Absolutely anyone.
Yeah.
Absolutely anyone. You just have to believe. You have to open up your mind and let it in. Mm-hmm. Because there are times at the beginning that your mind's not even capable of producing the thought. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go through this.
Right.
But you have to open your mind, open your heart, and say, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. And I'm gonna give it a try 100%. I'm not like 50-50, like maybe I kind of think it happened, but I kind of want some proof. No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna believe it.
Mm-hmm.
My mind says it's impossible. I'm overriding that thought.
Mm-hmm.
I am overriding that thought, and I'm going to push through, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do all these exercises. I'm going to do it. Yeah, it works.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up?
No, thank you for having me so much.
I really appreciate you. So more than you know. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
For anybody who is watching, if you want to be on Coffee with a Coach, typically it does look more like a coaching session, but today this was something that Mandi had been coached, and I wanted you to hear the results, right? What happens when I do get a coach? And I mean, what better results could you get? So thank you so much for being here today and sharing your story. Again, if you want to be, sorry, I sidetracked. If you want to be on Coffee with a Coach, you can message me on Facebook, or feel free to go to my website, and let's see if I can get that up really quickly. Even better, email me at Courtney@crystalclaritylifecoaching.com, and just let me know that you want to be on Coffee with a Coach. If you have a burning question that you would like coaches, I have a guest here. If you have a burning question that you would love a coach's perspective on, then go ahead and write me and let me know, and I would love to schedule you for a session. So, Mandi, enjoy your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.